long time ago in China, the old prime minister would go to work every day. He would come before the emperor, and the emperor would tell him, do this and do that and do that and do this and do this and do that and do that and do this and do this and do that and do that and do this. Until that prime minister had a list of all the things he had to accomplish that day. He would work all day long, and sometimes well into the night, trying to accomplish what the emperor wanted. He needed the money and worked every single day. One day, he came into work, hunched over, his eyes drooping from being up so late the night before. The emperor looked at him and said, "You work every day. You work too hard. Take the day off. Go into the mountains and enjoy yourself." And so, the prime minister did. He put on his coat, or what they might call a robe. And this wasn't a robe like a bathrobe. This was a robe that would keep him warm. It was a beautiful coat with every color of the rainbow on it somewhere, and it shimmered in the sun. He walked up that mountain, and he got to a place that was filled with wildflowers, flowers of every color. He sat down, laid back in the grass, and breathed deeply. And as he was breathing, a bee buzzed over, bzzz, and landed on his robe. You like my robe, do you, little bee? Well, you may have some. He went into the inside pocket and pulled out his knife and cut a little bit of his robe off and threw it off in the distance. It landed on a flower. He watched it for a moment. It fluttered in the wind a little bit. And then it seemed to open up and flap. And soon it was fluttering all around him. He looked at his robe again. He cut another piece, and another, and another, and another, and threw the pieces all around, and soon those pieces started to flutter all around him as well. He cut and cut and cut until his robe was nothing but rags, and butterflies filled the sky. Again he laid back, took a deep breath, and in his mind, he imagined that he was painting this picture. He would capture moments of this butterfly and that flower, the sight of all the butterflies dancing above him. And then the sun started to set. He headed back down that mountain. And the next morning, he woke up, feeling a little more refreshed than he'd felt. He came into work. And again the emperor said, do this and do that and do that and do this and do this and do that and do that and do this and do this and do that and do that and do this. The prime minister made his long list, and he headed off to work on those things. And any time he was overwhelmed by some of those tasks, he would stop, close his eyes, and remember those butterflies. And his work didn't seem quite so bad.